Be a part of the best pro wrestling podcast today by supporting the Going In Raw Patreon. You can enjoy access to the live taping of the show, exclusive merchandise, and patron-only episodes, and so much more. Support Going In Raw today. Click the link in the description. Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome to Going In Raw, the Dirt Sheet, the only pro wrestling news source you need to be listening to here at youtube.com/Steven Larson. Also available at iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Podbean, iHeartRadio, Google Play, and SoundCloud.com/Steven Larson.
Yeah.
Man, we were up to number 79 on iTunes Sports and Rec today, Larson.
Oh, that's cool.
79. We were above.
What's the highest we've ever been?
We've never cracked 49 and lower. We were at number 50 once.
Top 50 is pretty good.
Top 50 is damn good. Are you kidding me? It was amazing.
How long ago was that?
It was just before football.
Oh, okay.
So that sort of doldrums time, late summer, when there's no NBA, there's no NHL, there's no...
That void is filled by pro wrestling talk.
It's just baseball.
So pro wrestling talk fills that void.
Yeah, there's a lot of pro wrestling talk. So yeah, lots of news to talk about. We got No Mercy coming up. We did our predictions yesterday, so you guys can check that out over there on our channel. So yeah, you guys know who we think is going to win at No Mercy. We might have fallen. I'm looking for us. We're down to number 91. See, just in a matter of a couple hours, we fell. Yeah,
that's a bummer.
We'll go back up with this one. So yeah, be sure to hit that download and subscribe button at wherever you're listening to this at. Oh, goodness gracious. Anyways. So we got an update kind of for TNA.
Yeah, the early part of this week, there was a lot of updates and a lot of stories we had reported on previously. Last week on the Dirt Sheet, we reported on the financial troubles, the current financial troubles of TNA.
Yeah, the latest batch of
financial troubles.
And
we proposed a scenario, which I don't think either of us thought was terribly plausible, but we thought it would be a win-win for all parties, where the WWE would buy TNA's tape library, Corgan would buy TNA, and then it seemed like everybody would win.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, according to WrestleZone's Justin LaBar, that is what's happening.
Yeah.
WWE will be buying TNA's video library.
I originally heard it from JR, actually. Jim Ross tweeted it out.
Oh, okay.
That he said he was hearing it too. And then a little bit after that, Justin LaBar said he was getting a text from Inside Source.
Gotcha.
And Meltzer replied to somebody asking about that, and he says, I have nothing confirmed, but that's always been heavily in play.
Okay.
Those words he used.
Okay.
So, yeah, Billy Corgan apparently has agreed to terms on a deal to purchase a majority stake in TNA with plans to rebrand the promotion.
Which I think is a good idea.
Great idea. And because the name TNA was always like a really stupid innuendo. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, and also, too, I think to a certain portion.
It's coming from the guys who have fuck wrestling.
I know. But I was going to say, like in my mind, when I think of TNA, there's, I don't know, a stigma attached to it, because you just think of, the wrestling's been good.
Yeah.
But also there's a whole Vince Russo era, and there's also just the news that, all their financial troubles. It's always seemed like a wrestling promotion on the verge of collapse.
I half agree with you, but there's also that aspect of they do have a hell of a legacy when you think about all the stars that are in the WWE
No,
now.
I agree.
And on top of that, let me ask this: you don't think there's an element of okay, let's say for example, my beloved Sacramento Kings, who have been in the doldrums for a decade now.
Yeah.
Let's say like they won, and when they were hot back in the late 90s, early aughts, there was like, the Kings are finally there.
Yeah.
And through all the shit years, they're finally healthy, solvent where they need to be. You don't think there's that same thing of it's like, oh, well, now they're doing okay, let's rebrand them. I agree that rebranding is a good idea, but I also kind of like the idea that, man, if they kept that TNA moniker, it's like they prevailed finally. Because there are a lot of hardcore TNA fans out there.
No, I understand that, and I think regardless of what the company is called, they will still follow the company.
Yeah, no, I know. It's just when TNA is your thing, it's like, oh, this is the thing I back, and then it's a different name,
Well, unless it's a better name.
Yeah.
Corgan Championship Wrestling.
CCW.
Yeah.
CCW.
I don't know. I mean, like, terrible. Between the name itself, which is the innuendo,
smashing wrestling,
smashing pro wrestling, like the feeling for the last 5 years, at any time the company could go out of business.
No, you're right.
And I don't know.
Business-wise, it makes sense, too, because it's like, what if their current deal with, what is it, Pop TV?
Yeah.
When that expires, maybe he wants to try to upgrade his channel to a
and also,
station that people
have. Maybe part of the terms of WWE buying the tape library is that they essentially own the name TNA as well.
Interesting thing in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, too, is I found out when there's a lot of discussion about the parallels between getting TNA's tape library and what the WWE had to go through to get ECW's tape library. Back then, according to Wrestling Observer, the going rate for footage was $750 an hour of footage.
Wow.
Now he said that's actually decreased to $500 an hour.
That's still a lot.
If that's true, if they did 1 3-hour pay-per-view every month since their inception, and if they did 2 hours of programming every week since their inception, it would be about $1 million.
Oh.
Which exactly is a very underwhelming figure.
Yeah.
So I have no idea. Maybe Dixie Carter said $1 million is nothing. I want quadruple that. That's still a drop in the bucket for the WWE.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
it really improves the value proposition of the network.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Huge, to a huge degree.
Because back when a lot of the TNA guys were coming over to NXT, what was, and you were upset by it at first.
Yeah, I didn't want NXT to be TNA light because a lot of it was how TNA handled their business.
Yeah.
And it's like, I really loved Bobby Roode.
Yeah.
I was always kind of so with Samoa Joe. And I don't know why. I'm not sure. Because I think he was just so TNA. Like, I just didn't want it to be TNA light.
Yeah.
That was my main thing. Like, I just wasn't. I was like, you know what? I never liked how TNA handled their business. And that extended to my perception of their wrestling product as well.
And maybe I think going back to the name change, that might be one of the reasons in terms of trying to garner more mainstream or casual wrestling fans, or maybe slightly more than casual wrestling fans. Right. They want to change the name because there is this perception of TNA as a business always on the verge of going out of business.
And then, of course, Wednesday morning, Dixie Carter said she tweeted out, the only breaking news is that
Bound for Glory was a great show.
Exactly. So maybe her, silence sometimes is best. It makes me wonder if maybe in her weird mind, all the leaking of info might have jeopardized the deal, or maybe all the leaking of info gave her more leverage to ask for more at the last minute. Who knows? I mean, that's pure speculation on my part. Again, Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer said she's one of the most clueless individuals he ever came across. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm really hoping that because this is a win-win for everybody. It maintains an alternative area, an alternative place for wrestlers to go to. Billy Corgan seems like a smart guy, so maybe, hopefully,
it's a fresh start for the company, and I'm more interested in watching their product now than I was.
I'm just really hoping that I have no idea if Corgan is a sound business person or if he's going to bring in people to help him. I hope if that's the case, he brings in sharp minds who know how to.
I hope he brings in some people
exploit the product to the perfect degree
who have worked in the wrestling industry.
Right, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Not only in terms of creative, but in terms of the business side too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So this really does seem. I wonder what Billy Corgan's net worth is. He's got to have huge money.
I think last week when we were talking about it, one of the I think WrestleZone had an article. Oh yeah, and the article WrestleZone had about him putting up his own money. Mm-hmm. It said his estimated net worth was $40 million.
That's surprising. I would have figured it'd be in the hundreds of millions, given how popular Smashing Pumpkins are. And he wrote most of those songs, I think.
Well, yeah, he wrote all of them.
Yeah, that's what I figure. Yeah,
I don't know.
Interesting. Oh, 40 million is a lot.
I don't know. Go on Google and see what it says.
News desk. Billy Corgan net worth. Billy Corgan net worth. 50?
Oh, okay.
That's what it says. $50 million.
Still pretty good.
Still pretty good money.
Still really good.
Okay. So, yeah, we'll stay tuned for more on TNA. Hopefully we'll get this solidified by next week. There'll be an answer.
I think it'll be a while.
Well, it might be.
Especially with TNA doing a bunch of TV tapings this week.
Yeah, that's true.
If they have, as some reports suggested, the rest of the year booked out, It might be early next year before we hear anything official about it.
Yeah. So we're going to talk Goldberg now.
Yeah, on Tuesday on our Machinima recap, we talked about Dave Meltzer at Wrestling Observer stating that Goldberg and WWE were close to reaching a deal on a new contract if they hadn't done it already. And then on Tuesday, after we shot that video, Jim Ross stated on Twitter that the deal was done.
Yeah.
And that Goldberg, that Goldberg would be taking on Brock Lesnar. Most likely at Survivor Series.
Yeah.
But then anyways, this morning, Wrestling Observer reported that the Goldberg-Lesnar match is definitely on for Survivor Series, and that Brock is going to face Shane at WrestleMania 33.
I know. I told you so. Of course that was going to happen. They set this up months ago at that last pay-per-view.
I understand. I know, but
you said it wasn't going to happen.
I don't want to see it.
You confuse with isn't going to happen with.
No, I don't. I don't confuse it.
I don't want to see it either. What if Shane takes the Undertaker streak? What if Shane overpowers Brock Lesnar? What if Vince said, Brock, I need you to job to my son. And then we're going to set up a triple threat, you versus Undertaker versus Lesnar, because Shane is the new powerhouse in the WWE.
If Lesnar can defeat Randy Orton in like 5 minutes,
none of it makes
concuss
sense.
him.
Yeah. He should
end
literally
the Undertaker's
be able
streak.
To, yeah, he should be able to eat Shane.
Give Cena his worst defeat ever.
Yeah.
Embarrass Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
Then Brock Shane match should last all of 30 seconds.
You'd think, yeah.
And if that's not the way it's booked,
yeah.
Sorry, my contact came out of place.
Oh, good. You're falling apart.
That's not the way it's booked. It'll be so irritating. Just really irritating.
I don't know. I'm not even going to watch that match. We're going to be at WrestleMania. I'm going to go hit up one of WrestleMania's wonderful merch stand when I hear Brock's music hit. So nobody asked me about that match because I'm not going to watch it. And then if they say, man, did you see Shane McMahon kick the crap out of, they're like, man, halfway through that match, it became a shoot. And Shane McMahon destroyed Brock Lesnar. I'll be like,
even then,
all right,
no.
I'm all in. No, even then, no.
No, Brock would destroy him.
Even then, no.
Brock would destroy him.
Well, no, he would. I'm just saying, what if it turned into a shoot? And
if
Shane,
it were a shoot, Brock would destroy him. That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying, what if Shane destroyed Brock?
It wouldn't happen in a shoot. It wouldn't happen.
It could happen. You never know. Shane could be the most dominant athlete of our time, and you just don't know. You don't know. You know what you're talking about.
Anyways, going back to Lesnar versus Goldberg at Survivor Series.
Yeah. It's interesting that it's a Survivor Series. You think that'd be a Mania match?
Well, I according to Meltzer, it's to help promote.
Oh, 2K.
Yeah, 2K17.
Okay, yeah, that's right. That's good. All right, right on. Who went over in the first one? Goldberg?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Lesnar's going to win that match.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be Lesnar Orton.
No.
It should be. Look, this should be an absolute bloodbath. Lesnar should dismantle Goldberg in 2 seconds because Goldberg's like 1,000,000 years old. That's how it should go.
Yeah.
But we all know that age means nothing in the WWE. So this is going to be a healthy back and forth because Goldberg's not going to come back to get destroyed by Brock.
You know, it could happen.
What?
What if Shane comes out, interferes?
Oh, yeah.
Goldberg wins.
Whoa.
Setting up Lesnar Shane at WrestleMania.
Well, we'll find out in our predictions episode for Survivor Series a month from now.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
We'll see what happens on TV
how
in the
we
meantime.
feel about that. So when's Goldberg making his TV debut? It's got to be soon, right?
I would suspect.
They'll
wait.
Couple Raws from now, right?
No, they'll wait till after Hell in a Cell.
Oh, Hell in a Cell's next.
Yeah.
And then Survivor Series. Okay, yeah, we're still early October. Okay, never mind.
They'll wait till after Hell in a Cell.
That's fine.
To really get that ball rolling.
All right. So, yeah, what do you guys think about Goldberg coming back? Let us know in the comments, and we'll read them. And finally, in our news segment, in our news portion of the show,
yeah,
Alberto Del Rio got stabbed, maybe?
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit, I believe, on Tuesdays Going in Raw.
That's right. I said, how about that Alberto Del Rio getting stabbed? So news broke Saturday that Alberto Del Rio was stabbed outside of a restaurant in San Antonio on Sunday, forcing him to miss a AAA show in Mexico. It was a Lucha Libre show in Mexico.
Correct.
Now, he put on, I think, Instagram pictures of him after this stabbing incident. And there were all sorts of stabbing wounds. And I think there was one in his head. And so I was like, wow, Del Rio, that's crazy. But throughout the week, new details have emerged of the altercation. The latest news from The Record, Del Rio states that he was attacked by a drunken homeless man in a parking lot of a restaurant, Paige came to the aid of her boyfriend, Big Papi, and the attackers threw her to the side, and he fled, and the guy fled on foot while Del Rio checked on Paige.
Yeah.
The initial reports, however, suggest that Del Rio was stabbed by a driver who hit his car, and the driver then fled in his car after Del Rio wrestled the knife from him.
And I believe the initial reports made no mention of Paige at all.
Right, correct. And then Pro Wrestling Sheet's Ryan Satin, while appearing on Eric Bischoff's podcast, stated that he put this on Twitter, stated that he spoke to the San Antonio Police Department and they couldn't find a report of the stabbing.
Of any stabbing.
No, there was one stabbing reported that week, but it wasn't him. That weekend, but it wasn't.
But then also WrestleZone, I believe, said that there's other, there's a sheriff's department in that area. Yeah. There's also surrounding towns that have their own police department.
Yeah. So there's some.
So, but just by, this one, by Ryan Satin calling one police department in the area and saying, no, we have no record, doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Doesn't mean it was a fib on Del Rio's part. But his changing story is interesting. Look, we have no idea what happened. We're not claiming anybody's lying, but there does seem to be some conflicting reports, some changing stories. That would be the appearance here. So the bottom line is this is just going to be something interesting to keep an eye on, to see what's next, if anybody's able to get confirmation on stuff.
Yeah.
Because I think Wrestling Observer, I think Meltzer also said that he called the San Antonio PD, and he was, somebody along the line was laying the claim that, no, it would have been that police department had the stabbing taken place. But who knows? Maybe Del Rio's story is going to change again. I don't know. I mean, getting stabbed is a pretty traumatic experience.
Yeah.
It's not like communication is going to be crystal clear right after that.
I know.
But, and then on top of that, like, where does he get the pictures of him being stabbed from? And then, like, why would he even do this?
I know.
I mean, obviously, your first response is, well, to make up, to tell AAA that something happened to him. And with that, there's a million other ways you can lie to somebody without saying you got stabbed.
I know. Yeah.
So I don't know, man. It's very interesting. We'll find out more about here. I'm going to write on here. Find out more.
More to come.
Out more about Alberto Del Rio.
Are you going to make that a point this weekend to read more about that?
I'm definitely
do some additional research.
I'm definitely going to find out. Let's see if there's any breaking news on Alberto Del Rio. Del Rio stabbed?
Should we talk about NXT?
Hold on a second. Wait, I have an idea.
Okay.
Siri, was Alberto Del Rio stabbed? True or false? No. Was Alberto Del Rio really stabbed?
Let me have a look. Here's what I found on the web for what is Alberto Del Rio released dad.
Well, she's put, what is Alberto Del Rio released dad? That doesn't make any sense. So, yeah. Anyways. Moving on. There's an NXT.
Yeah. We saw the kickoff of the Dusty Rhodes
the road, baby.
Tag Team Classic.
Damn, the Bollywood boys. I want them to fight the author of the pain. The Bollywood boys need a rebranding ASAP. I can't stand them, dude. I can't stand them. It's not even necessarily that they're doing a Bollywood gimmick, even though I think that's cheesy as hell. It's that they're so cheesy. Their little promo beforehand just reeked of something from like 1995. It was horrible. We're here to do it. It was so horribly babyface, bad, like cheesy, smiling, happy babyface. It's so bad. Like they're trying to be the Hollywood Blondes, but the Hollywood Blondes were cool. No, not the Hollywood. Yeah, who's Steve Austin and Brian Pillman?
Hollywood Blondes.
Yeah, I always get them confused with Shane Douglas and what's his face.
The Dynamic Dudes.
I always get the dude confused because it's bad WCW. But I always get a kick out of seeing Stunning Steve Austin do this shit.
Yeah,
he knows dick about Hollywood.
Yeah, I know. Movies. That was always funny.
Anyways, they got murdered by the Authors of Pain.
Yeah,
just murdered.
Yeah,
and I was rooting for the Authors of Pain in this one. I want the Bollywood. I mean, they're athletic dudes. They're good in the ring.
Yeah,
they're good. I like them, but they're so cheesy. Like I don't want to be in the same room with them. They're so cheesy. They are. If they start talking like that, if you're just in the room with them and they start talking like that, we're here. Dude, just bring it down a notch.
Okay.
It's so annoying. After
we do our NXT recap, I have the Dusty Classic brackets.
Oh yeah,
on my phone. We should do a prediction.
Okay, we'll do a predictions of that, and then we'll talk about a half hour about Dan Matha.
Okay,
because Dan Matha is my new favorite wrestler ever. Dan Matha is totally the going in Raw wrestler.
It's looking that way.
Dan Matha's great. I hope we never see him again. And he's always going to be the going in Raw wrestler.
Yep.
Rich Swann versus Patrick Clark's my new favorite guy, though.
Yeah,
Patrick Clark is absolutely my new favorite guy. Was he the guy who was doing the Trump thing on the house show circuit?
Oh, I don't know if he was doing. I know he had a giant American flag on his tights.
Okay.
The couple times I saw him on NXT.
Yeah, wrestler. Because I know one guy was doing. Who was it? Okay, here we go. Yeah, Patrick Clark's WWE NXT gimmick repackaged as Donald Trump supporter. So he's doing this. He's doing this thing where I don't know what it is, because they made a point last night when he came out, because he came out looking like Prince.
Yeah,
he had sort of a Prince thing going on. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
But Corey Graves made sure to mention, before, I don't know what his deal is before he had an American flag thing. So maybe his thing will just be something different every week, something outlandish and different every week. I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't know.
But I know on the NXT house show circuit, he was doing the Trump thing. He was a Trump supporter, which was hilarious. I mean, that's really funny. And so this time he was Prince, and he's a hell of an athlete.
Yeah.
He took on Rich Swann, who is great. I love Rich Swann too.
Yeah.
But Patrick Clark was pretty impressive last night.
Yeah, I always thought in his previous matches I saw him, he was good. He was a good wrestler.
Yeah, he was really good. He had a spine buster that was vicious.
Yeah.
Just vicious. Love that. Rich Swann went over, though. Rich Swann, they got big plans for him, I think.
Yeah, I think so,
like
too.
Rich Swann, yeah. Let's see here. We had a backstage segment. Liv Morgan was healing up from her the
bout with Asuka last week.
She got killed by Asuka.
Yeah, and then
literally, and they were bringing her back.
And then Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, went backstage,
awkwardly sauntered over
to talk some trash,
and was doing the typical heel thing, talking mean things. And then Peyton Royce took on Danielle Camella. And Peyton Royce went over. So apparently they got big plans for Peyton Royce and Billie Kay, perhaps.
Yeah.
They need to restock that women's division.
Yes.
Line up a bunch of Asuka victims. And they're definitely too.
They need some viable contenders for the women's title.
I know. Some victims for Asuka. That's what I just said.
I know, but
they're all victims to Asuka.
Okay.
This was my segment of the night. No, Dan Matha was definitely
I was going to say.
my secondary segment of the night. Nothing beats Dan. Dan Matha. Remember him for our Friendo Awards at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Dan Matha's going to be
Wrestler of the Year.
He's a nominee at least. At least he's a nominee.
We have AJ Styles, Shinsuke, Samoa Joe, Dan Matha.
Dan Matha. It's great. Oh, I love him.
But the Bobby Roode Ty Dillinger interview.
I am
was great.
So on board with Ty Dillinger after seeing his comic timing and his comic delivery. It was great.
Yep.
What did he say when Bobby Roode did this? He said, "Are you okay?" Oh, it was fantastic. That dude, again, I think how old is
Ty?
Is Ty?
Well, I mean, he was on WWE TV in 2006.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Ty.
I think he's in his early mid-30s.
He's got to be 34. 34 is that sweet age when you start putting it all together in life. He's 35. Yeah, he's 35. He's 35.
Okay.
Yeah, he's pushing our age. When you're older, you start putting it together. The comic timing really comes together.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
He's great. It was great. So him and Bobby were at a backstage segment where Bobby's saying, this is a great opportunity for Ty.
Yeah.
And he just kept on cutting off Ty Dillinger.
And then when he stopped, he did the glorious pose.
Yeah. While Ty Dillinger was trying to answer a question, then he notices him and he's like, "Are you okay?" He says, "Are you okay?" Oh, it was fantastic.
So good.
And they named their team the Glorious 10.
Yeah.
Much to Ty's surprise.
Yeah.
Because he didn't realize
I think he thought
happening.
it was going to be perfectly glorious.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. So it was really good. And next week they're going to be taking on
Sanity.
Sanity, yeah,
making their debut.
Did you read the spoilers on who that is?
I didn't see who they were. Mm-hmm. I saw the result of the match.
Okay, yeah. I spoiled it for myself last night.
Are the members of Sanity known? Do we know who they are?
One of them definitely.
Okay.
Yes, and then the others I had to look up, but one of them definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. You'll be pleasantly surprised.
Okay.
Let's see here. Oh yeah, and then
Do we want to talk about Dan Matha now, or wait till the end of this segment?
That was the main event segment for me, so no, we'll wait for that.
Okay.
No Way Jose and Rich Swann had an interview, which was great. The number of facial expressions, every clause of a sentence that is said, No Way Jose has a different, distinct, and diametrically opposed to his previous look on his face. Oh, it's
so good.
It's so good. Anyways, him and Rich Swann, who's another great character, are teaming up together.
Yeah.
And they walked away singing their theme songs.
Yeah, they did a mashup.
So that was good. The Revival took on Andrade Cien Almas and Cedric Alexander. I guarantee Cedric's going to go places, man.
He's going to be huge.
He's going to be huge. The Rival beat them, but of course that led to finally something for Andrade.
Yeah,
to do.
He turned heel.
Pure heel. He attacked Cedric Alexander.
Yeah, and apparently Andrade used to be, when he was in Mexico.
Oh, was he a Rudo?
He was a great heel.
Mas Rudo.
So,
Rudo Delicioso. That means delicious bad guy.
Okay.
That's going to be a fuck wrestling character name.
Okay.
Rudo Delicioso.
That's good.
I love it.
So knowing that and seeing his
yeah.
heel turn, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
This should be good.
I know. They need it. He needs something.
And you could already tell that he was enjoying it.
Oh,
because when he was going up the ramp and soaking in.
Oh, he soaked it in.
The jeers of the crowd.
Yeah,
it was great.
Loved it. So yeah, you got those brackets right. Oh no, we got to talk. We're gonna do brackets first, and then
no. We'll talk about. I mean, we can.
Dan, let's talk about Dan Matha.
Okay.
So for 3 weeks now, they've been hyping in the same video package over and over again.
Yeah, the debut of Dan Matha.
A lot of really great sort of shots from underneath, making him look like a massive giant,
and there was like a smoke-filled room.
Yeah, and he looks so menacing in a really weird looking face where he's like puckered, his lips are lips are all weird and puckered. He just looks like a beast. All these great macro shots of his veins.
Yeah.
And it's like Dan Matha debuting. It was like, oh my God, okay, what are they going to do with this guy? He looks like a classic Vince guy.
Yeah.
Just a built, huge dude. And so his finally debut.
He comes out and his theme is slightly better than Wesley Blake's.
Yeah. And he comes out, and he's the most underwhelming looking guy. After seeing his video packages, he has no shoulders. It's like his from his head to his arms to his body, it's like an A shape. It's not like a, and so he comes out. He's a goofy looking dude. You pointed out off camera that it looked like he had a lot of chest acne, which that's fine. That's okay. But just an odd looking fella, Dan Matha, comes to the ring, and of course, and this was brilliant because for 3 weeks, they're touting his debut. Samoa Joe comes out completely
and beats the hell out of him.
Literally murders the shit out of Dan Matha. Makes him take a nap on the bottom of the mat.
On the mat, yeah.
And outside the ring.
Delivers. Joe does another blistering promo.
Scathing promo on Regal saying, give me Nakamura or give me my title back. Oh my God.
And then he said if he doesn't next week, he's going to do more.
He said, look at this, Regal. Another one of your blue chip prospects has now been destroyed. We saw this last week with, was it the giant twin giant ushers?
Yes.
The
Ely brothers.
Ely brothers? Yeah, the twin giant ushers. And this week we saw it with the debuting Dan Matha. I hope we never see Matha again.
I agree.
I hope that this was just a beautiful swerve on the part of NXT. Because I was wondering, it had me wondering. I'm like, okay, is this going to be just another monster guy? But in the back of my head, I thought, there's going to be some twist here because NXT doesn't do standard. They do interesting and creative.
Yeah.
They don't do standard. I was like, okay, there maybe is going to be something different here. And sure enough, he just looked like the goofiest dude. Oh, I was dying. I was dying laughing. Samoa Joe just completely murdered the shit out of this guy. It was perfect. It was so great.
All right, you want to talk
Dusty Classic?
All right, I have the brackets in front of me. We know who won some of these matches already because it happened last night.
Okay.
So we'll go match by match.
Sounds good.
Until we get to the finals, and we'll each pick a winner.
Okay.
First match, TM61 against Sabatelli and Moss.
Yeah.
TM61 wins.
Okay.
Do you agree?
Let me see. Hold on a second. I got to see. Oh, wait, TM61 for sure, yeah.
Next match, Team Aries against... Shit. I know it's the team of the two Hosses.
Yeah, who are they?
It's Knight, and I can't pronounce this guy's name.
Spell it.
Bogojevic? Must be Bogojevic.
Bogo.
Jevic.
Okay, well, that's one of the authors of pain, I think. Oh, here they are. Oh, man. I really want these guys to win the entire thing.
But their
Those
first
are
round,
a couple of hosses.
Their first round match is against Austin Aries and his mystery partner, which some rumors are saying is
Roderick Strong.
Roderick Strong.
Yeah, I know.
So Team Aries is going to win that one.
Oh, for sure. I kind of want to go backwards though. Hold on a second. Where's the brackets? Here we go. Here's the brackets. Okay. So we know it's going to. Okay, let's just do this. I think Authors of Pain are going to win the whole thing.
Oh, you're agreeing with me finally.
What did I say before?
You thought Gargano and Ciampa were going to win the whole thing.
No, it's going to be the Authors of Pain.
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah, it's going to be Authors.
The finals are going to be Sanity and Authors of Pain.
Okay.
That's the finals.
You think okay, hold on a second. I might...
Because they're on the opposite sides of the bracket.
Okay, they're on opposite sides of the bracket. You think it's going to be Sanity?
Yeah, they've been hyping those guys for a long time.
It's not going to be Sanity. I'm going to say let's see here. Tommy and Ibushi, Team Aries, so they might...
That's what I'm saying. Let's go around match by match.
I'm going backwards here.
Okay, go backwards because I might determine who you think.
Authors of Pain.
I already did all this, so going backwards to find out who will win the first round matches.
Dillinger and Rude. I think let's see here. Dillinger and Rude. Okay, let's go match by match then. Okay. Team Aries and the Hosses. Team Aries wins that.
Yeah.
That makes me really sad.
Itami and Ibushi taking on Lindsay Dorado and Ali.
See, I'm thinking Itami and Ibushi might go pretty far. Itami and Ibushi are going to win that match.
Yeah.
They're going to win that round.
Next, Dillinger and Rude take on Sanity.
I guess Sanity wins.
Yeah.
That one. But I was just hoping that Dillinger and Rude would at least win one to set up a feud. But Sanity, I guess, Sanity has to win that one.
We know the Authors of Pain advanced.
Yes.
No Way Jose and Rich Swann take on Tony Nese and Drew Gulak.
No Way Jose and Swann. Yeah, No Way Jose and Swann go on. Yeah.
The Revival already won.
Yeah.
And then Gargano and Ciampa take on...
You think they're going to job out Ben Wang? They've been talking big about him.
I know.
That's puzzling to me. But it has to be Gargano and Ciampa. It has to be that.
I think so too. So second round, we'll have TM61 against Team Aries.
Yeah.
Team Aries wins.
Team Aries goes on. That has to be then Itami and Ibushi have to go on against Team Aries right?
That would make sense unless Austin Aries comes out and costs Itami.
I'm going to say this, dude. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say Dillinger and Rude beat Sanity, but Sanity is weird and they get either DQ'd or they don't care about wins.
Well, you need to read spoilers.
Oh, shit. Really?
Yeah.
You already know who wins that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. Well, shit. What else do you know?
No, that's it. That's the only one I know.
All right. Well, okay.
Spoiler alert. Sorry.
All right. That's okay.
I just want to make sure you didn't make a bad pick.
Yeah, no kidding. I appreciate that. All right, let's talk about the Revival and Gargano and Ciampa real quick.
Gargano and Ciampa are going to go over.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Thus setting
I
up.
love the Revival, dude.
I do too.
Love Did you see, man, that's what I forgot to talk about. That final sequence and the Revival versus Cedric Alexander was amazing.
Fantastic.
The level of it was obviously choreographed, but it was done in a way that it looked on the fly.
Yeah, it felt very natural.
It felt very natural. Cedric Alexander is he's
so good.
He's a marvel, dude.
He's so good.
He's so good. All right.
Authors of Pain against No Way Jose and Rich Swann.
Well, Authors of Pain movement. Well, Authors of Pain go on the entire thing.
Okay.
So the Authors of Pain versus Gargano and Ciampa is what we're talking about.
Yeah, Authors of Pain win that. And then Team Aries for me against Sanity. And then are you sticking with Itami and Ibushi?
Sanity versus Itami and Ibushi, huh? You think it's... Oh, man.
How many weeks have they been running promos for Sanity?
I know, but...
Month and a half?
Who they are is not exactly overwhelming.
We'll have to tell me who they are after we stop recording.
All right.
I have an idea who one of them is, but I don't know for sure.
It's pretty obvious who it is.
I don't think so.
Who do I think is going to come out? It's not. Tommy Ibushi's not going to come out of that.
Okay. So
that was sort of but yeah, I think Aries is going to. I mean, okay, out of that entire. Who are the Authors of Pain going to take on in the finals?
Sanity.
They already took on TM6. TM61 kind of gave the Authors of Pain a run for their money, but I don't think there's going to rematch that.
No.
Well, it'd be great if it was Sabatelli and Moss took on the Authors of Pain in the finals. All right, man. Sanity it is. I don't see any other... Because it's not like Itami and Ibushi are going to take on the Authors of Pain in the final and have... Because Austin Aries has to get involved somehow.
Yes.
In an Itami loss.
Yes.
He's not going to get involved in an Authors of Pain win.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
So I guess that makes sense. It's got to be Sanity.
So Sanity against Authors of Pain in the finals.
That's disappointing. I really wanted it. I wanted the Revival, or I wanted Gargano and Ciampa to be on the other side of the bracket.
I know.
So it would have been Gargano and Ciampa versus the Authors of Pain.
But you said that before knowing who was in the tournament.
Oh no, I know. I really wanted that to be the case though. This would be a lot more difficult. Like if Gargano and Ciampa were over here, I'd be like, okay, well they're a shoo-in for up here.
Yeah.
And then it would be a real, to me it'd be a real question. Because I think Gargano and Ciampa, they want to push those guys hardcore. Do you think they're going to put Gargano? That's such a weird thing. Do you think they're going to put Gargano and Ciampa in the cruiserweight division?
I thought they were already confirmed for it.
Yeah, they were confirmed for it, weren't
but
they?
I think they're waiting until this feud with the Revival comes to an end, then they'll go up.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Yeah. My goodness gracious. Anyways.
You want to answer some questions? We have a handful.
Do any of these questions have anything to do with Dan Matha?
Unfortunately, no, but we can try to come around to Dan Matha.
Dan Matha questions get all priority, by the way.
First question, Josh Levi.
Yeah.
Would you guys ever do a TNA recap?
You know what?
I might be excited about TNA after they do the rebrand if it happens.
If the rebrand happens, from that point on, we will give it the benefit of the doubt.
Yes.
And depending on how they play out, depending on,
Yeah.
Smappy Jones.
Yes, bonjour, friendos.
Bonjour.
In pro sports, some people like a dynasty and some prefer a league where any team can win any season. So for wrestling, what is it that you like seeing? A belt that stays with someone for an extended period of time, or one with shorter terms, giving the idea that anyone can win on any given night? Depends on the belt.
True. I think that extended periods of time, in general, build legitimacy for the belt. And so when somebody wins, it's more dramatic.
Yeah.
That's generally how I feel.
But then again, if you have consecutive champions that hold the belt for more than a year, it kind of gets a little dull.
It gets like Cena, it gets old.
You need a little unpredictability.
Yeah, exactly.
And during the Attitude Era, a lot of the title reigns were relatively short.
Yeah,
a
and a lot of
2 months.
world title changes happen on Raw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at no point was that title seen as less than legitimate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
Because he always had strong contenders holding it.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Heated Pillow. What other wrestling promotions are you watching or following?
I just got Ring of Honor's streaming service where you can watch like their TV show every week and watch old episodes and stuff. It's just their streaming television show is the streaming version of it is like heavily what do I call it? Interlaced. And it's so frustrating. It's like, God, I can barely watch this. Like I'm so used to like good quality HD shit.
Yeah.
And their shit. I mean, from what I can on my rig, anyways. Maybe it's not on anybody else's, but on my shit, it's all interlaced, and I can't stand that.
I have a bunch of Lucha Underground I need to catch up on.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I've been following that. Just reading stuff. I'll follow it.
Yeah. Oh, we never did our Total Bellas.
That's coming up.
Okay, cool.
That's at the end.
All right.
That's the main event.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Oh, you're right. No, we didn't. Okay, we'll do after questions. Sorry.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, and I've got New Japan streaming service.
Oh,
too.
yeah,
That's really good. That's high quality, high def stuff.
I know. I need to check that out. Amen Aziz. I can't be the only one that loves Graves and Phillips' commentary. Do you think Phillips should replace Byron Saxton on Raw?
No. I like Byron Saxton. I don't see what people have a problem with Byron Saxton. I don't
either.
I think he's knowledgeable, but just nerdy, and I like that. I think he bounces perfectly off of Corey Graves.
Yeah, they're great together.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Big Razor Sexy. Off topic. What are your favorite pair of shoes? Personally, Big Razor Sexy always needs Chuck Taylors.
Chucks are good.
Love the show.
I'm just not a fan of how Chucks feel. My Chucks usually aren't that comfortable on me.
I like Chucks are okay, but I like for Converse at least the Jack Purcells.
Okay.
My favorite shoes ever were my Air Max 2006s.
Yeah.
I wore them so much that one of the air bubbles in them burst.
I just got a new pair yesterday.
Those are good looking shoes. What are those?
Air Bermuda.
Bermuda. Okay.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm a huge fan of Nike's Lunar series.
Yes.
They're very comfortable.
Yes.
I also have a pair of Adidas Pure Boost that I like.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Air Max 2006, my favorite shoe ever.
It's good stuff.
At least in terms of comfort.
Yeah.
Aesthetically, that's a whole different conversation. Jordan 6s, favorite shoe ever.
Which ones are the Jordan 6s again?
The ones he wore when he won his first championship.
All right, let me take a look. Read the next question.
Demon Spoon. If Sister Abigail is revealed, who do you think should play her? And Demon Spoon thinks it should be Rosemary from TNA. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think those are my favorite Jordans too. Yeah, those are the ones that I wanted when I was a kid.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Who should be Sister Abigail? I guess the obvious choice would be Bray's sister.
Yeah, that's who I would want it to be, and I want Bo in the family. I think they could do a really cool job breaking down the fourth wall, breaking kayfabe a little bit.
It'd be great.
It'd be great. You can do it. You can do it.
Ben Lawton. Which was worse, Ministry Undertaker or American Badass Undertaker?
Ministry. For me, it was Ministry.
Nope. American Badass.
I love the American Badass. I'm all in on the American Badass now. After all the thought I gave to it, I'm all in on the American Badass. You know what I didn't like about the Ministry? I didn't like that he... There are a lot of stuff that I didn't like about him aesthetically. He dyed his hair black. He had a heavy eyeliner.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. And he wore black tights. I didn't like that. I didn't like
He wears black tights now.
Yeah, but now he looks like an old grizzled MMA guy. Back then, he looked like a goth kid. He looked like a weird goth guy going to clubs. I didn't like that.
Okay.
And the Powers of the Darkness, I like it in theory, but it just doesn't make a lot of sense. I like just an old grizzled bastard on a motorcycle coming out listening to Limp Bizkit.
It's just not that interesting to me.
Oh, it's great. It's fantastic. Are you kidding me? The stories that he has? That's what his gimmick should have been. He'd just be a walking shoot interview.
See, that would have been fine, but that wasn't the angle.
You're right. It wasn't. Continue.
Battle Mage Elena. Still think P Break City, Brock Lesnar,
yes,
over Undertaker for the 1 and 21-1 was really a botch they had to work around. What do you think?
Not a chance, no. I think it's been confirmed a bunch of different places that it was Vince's call.
Yep.
Yeah. Mark, hey, you're going to do the job. But it's Mania, Vince.
What about my legacy?
What about your paycheck?
Legacy. Carrie Louise Lloyd. Hello there, chaps.
Hello.
Carrie here.
Hello.
The women's division is very strong on SmackDown at the moment, and there is very little I would change. So my question is, how would you book Eva Marie back into the women's division strong? First of all, keep the announcer.
Oh, definitely keep the announcer.
That's the surest way to get her over.
Yeah, exactly. Professional, glamorous,
amazing,
amazing,
all red everything.
Eva Marie. How would you book her back? Who would you have her feud with first? Aesthetically, it'd be cool to see her versus Naomi because Naomi has the really cool looking get-ups and entrances. So you'd always get a really cool show for a little bit. And Naomi, I think I really like her. I want her to get a title shot.
Yeah.
But because of that, I want her in a high-profile feud. And say what we will about Eva Marie, whatever she does is going to be high-profile.
Yeah. I wonder if they're going to bring Eva Marie back because her suspension ended a couple weeks ago.
They're waiting for the right time. Might be at Sacramento.
Could be. Last question. Then we can talk about Total Bells.
Well, no, we got to open up this thing.
Oh, yeah. Chris, is James Ellsworth the most known jobber of the last decade? He got another mention on Talking Smack, apparently.
I think yes.
Yeah. He's probably the most well-known jobber since the Brooklyn Brawler.
Well, now I want to make Dan Matha be the most well-known jobber.
Okay.
Our official going in Raw wrestler. We got to send him a thing indicating that and we maybe get him on the show.
Okay.
Say Dan Matha.
We should take one of the toy replica belts and make it the Going in Raw official wrestler belt.
Yes, we need to do that. We got something in the mail. You guys can send us shit at P.O. Box 1814, Orangevale, California 95662. Either something for the set or something that we can wear. This is coming to us from Rooster Teeth, our good friends. Oh, I wonder who over at Rooster Teeth is sending us stuff because they've got a whole umbrella of amazing talent over there. So I wonder who's sending us stuff.
That they do.
Oh, look at this. I love it. Got to open this up to get the full effect. Our good friendos over there at the Cow Chop sent us some merch.
Oh, that's a soft shirt.
They're doing amazing work over there. Of course, Hundar, Brett, an old Machinima running buddy.
Yep.
Look at this guy. Look at this thing.
That's amazing.
That is fantastic. I love it. We're going to sit here. It's got 2 straws in it. We're going to each drink at it.
It's just one really.
Oh, it's just one really long straw?
Really long
I thought it
one.
looked like 2 straws. Oh, look at that.
Oh, man.
Here you go. That's
A
for
wealth.
you. I got
Thank
one
you.
of those. This one, I think that one that you have is mine because this one is yours. So that's fantastic. Oh, that's perfect. Look at that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. James, Alec, and Hundar.
Brett.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I got a thing for them. It's sitting on my couch. It's about to go out. Stamped, mailed, ready to go. Not mailed.
I like
this
t-shirt trade thing we got going on.
It's a good deal. I know. We got to send out some stuff for the Funhouse guys.
We do.
Because we need to do that. They send us a bunch of shirts. We always wear them.
Man,
you guys
that's a
notice.
huge straw.
I always love it. It's like crossing over like companies a little bit. Like we're NWO. And they're NWO.
Oh, it's like that picture of Shawn Michaels wearing an NWO shirt before he was in the NWO.
They're over on Nitro, and we're here on ECW, maybe.
Yeah.
However it works.
Yeah.
And then we shout out to them. They shout out to us.
Yeah, it's great.
It's awesome. Yeah, so that's really a lot of fun. Anyways, thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.
Let's talk about Total Bellas before we leave the air.
When I got here, I noticed that you were watching it, so you hadn't seen the whole episode.
I haven't seen the entire thing yet. Yeah. Because I don't have cable. But it's on Hulu, thank God.
Yeah.
So I didn't get it. Yeah. I wake up late.
It was good.
Yes. The best part you said was Cena laying down the ground rules.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully it'll get better. I just love the entire setup because you got Johnny Ace in there. That's what I like about it. You got Johnny Ace in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to do a full review when you haven't watched the full episode yet.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I totally.
So that's a little
understand
difficult.
That. Yeah, a little bit.
There's a part at the end where Daniel Bryan, Brie Bella, and I forget his name, Brie and
Dan Matha,
Brie and Nikki's brother. They want to because Josie,
the dog,
Daniel Bryan, Brie Bella's dog is confined to the guest house
because sheds too much. I saw,
or the yard.
Yeah,
but
I like when Cena said there are 3 gators around. If you get killed by one, that's
no. If you walk up to it,
if you walk up to it, you get what you deserve. Whatever happens to you.
Yeah. At one point, Josie bites John on the thigh.
Yes.
And so Daniel and Brie.
3 seconds later, the bite had already healed.
Pretty much.
Continue.
Yeah. They want to build like an area for Josie, a dog run.
Yeah.
On the side of the house.
Yes.
Or the side of the yard.
Yeah.
But John is very particular about what's done in his house and on his property.
I love it. John's
very
particular about everything. It's great.
And so, but they decide, I'm guessing at the producer's behest, not to ask.
Yeah.
And so Nikki comes out before they actually put any stakes in or anything, and has a fit. Like, how come we didn't ask?
Mm-hmm.
And Bree's like, we've been here a month. I think that's what she said.
Yeah.
Even though it's the first episode. Said, we've been here. Our dog's miserable. We don't feel like we can do anything with it on our own. So we just did it. And it gets brought up at their formal dinner that week.
Yeah.
And it's great. Like Daniel Bryan's facial expressions throughout are fantastic. Cena does the stern thing. And Nikki says, everybody feels like they have to walk on eggshells around you, like they're scared of you.
Yeah.
And he goes, I thought we were just talking about a dog run. What the fuck happened? Or what the fuck is this about?
Yeah.
It was great.
That's great. All right, I'll check it out.
Cena's very much in character.
Next week I'll have both episodes. I'll watch both episodes.
Okay.
So
yes,
then we can thoroughly discuss it and have a true conversation.
We can break down the thematic elements.
Exactly.
What it's trying to tell us about
life,
the human experience.
Yeah, exactly. The human condition. Yeah, exactly. Anyways, that's it for the dirt sheet this week. Yeah, good episode. Good working with you again this week.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.